People detained after a state of emergency declared in a second parish in Jamaica. That's our top story in Caribbean Newsline for Monday, March 19th. From the CMC News Center in Bridgetown, I'm Nicole Best. Good evening. Prime Minister Andrew Holness on Sunday declared a state of public emergency in sections of the Central Parish of St. Catherine to confront worrying crime there. And by Monday evening, police had reported that the Jamaica Constabulary Force Communications Corporation unit said that there were 3 people who were caught, and of those 3 in custody, they are wanted for offences including shooting with intent, unlawful wounding, and assault occasioning actual bodily harm. The 3 others have been arrested on charges related to the Firearms Act, following the seizure of a Glock pistol with a magazine containing 10 rounds. Prime Minister Andrew Holness said the state of emergency will remain in place for 13 days in the first instance. He explained the move was necessary to facilitate enhanced security measures in areas faced with high levels of criminality that have threatened the public order.
Crime and violence, in particular murders, have been escalating in this police division. The security forces have advised me as Prime Minister in writing that a high level of criminal activity continues and threatens public order and the rule of law. This threat is extensive. The Governor General signed the proclamation under the Emergency Powers Act to bring into effect these enhanced security measures. The proclamation has also been gazetted. Under the enhanced security measures, the security forces will have extraordinary powers and some rights will be suspended. This does not mean that the use of these extraordinary powers can be arbitrary or are beyond review.
Under the state of emergency, security forces will have the power to search, curtail business operating hours, and detain people without a warrant. And anyone using roads in and out of the area will be subject to being searched. The area under curfew is the base for one of the most notorious gangs operating in the islands, the Klansman Gang. There is already another state of public emergency in the western parish of St. James. In Antigua and Barbuda, the leader of the minority opposition Democratic National Alliance, the DNA, is calling for a fixed date for general elections as voters prepare to cast ballots on Wednesday for a new government. Joanne Messiah, who formed the DNA after parting ways with the main opposition United Progressive Party, the UPP, said if a fledgling party is elected to office, it would move to introduce legislation to curb the powers of the Prime Minister to call snap elections. She said she believed most people wanted to go that route, but she acknowledged that consultation would first be required. Prime Minister Gaston Brown called the general election more than a year ahead of the constitutional deadline. Meanwhile, the UPP ended its public campaign on Sunday night, insisting that it was time for a change in government. At a rally, political leader Harold Lovell described Wednesday as the day of reckoning and told supporters that Prime Minister Gaston Brown and his Antigua and Barbuda Labour Party, the ABLP, have shown they cannot go the distance. He said the early election is proof that the ABLP administration is doubled over, blowing short and winded by what it takes to run a country. He said the UPP would usher in meaningful change and voters had to exercise their franchise to get the ABLP out.
A new day is dawning. On Wednesday, we end greed in government. We reduce the cost of living. We restore pride and dignity. Brothers and sisters, we will put an end to dictatorship, laziness, cussing, and incompetence. I long for that day which is dawning.
Retired jurist Paula Mae Weeks has been sworn in as Trinidad and Tobago's first female president. The inauguration of the 6th president of the Twin Island Republic took place at the Queen's Park, Savannah on Monday.
Paula Mae Weeks, do swear by Almighty God that I will bear truth, faith, and allegiance to Trinidad and Tobago, and to the best of my ability preserve and defend the Constitution and the law, that I will conscientiously and impartially discharge the functions of President, and will devote myself to the service and well-being of the people of Trinidad and Tobago.
Delivering her highly anticipated inaugural address, President Weeks attempted to offer hope while also expressing cognizance of the state the country presently finds itself in. Describing her new position as a humble servant with a mandate to render service with enthusiasm, she reminded the public that creating a better Trinidad and Tobago will require every citizen to do their part.
The word challenge quite deliberately, because this is not a mission for the faint-hearted.
As is tradition, President Weeks presided over her first presidential salute, a 21-gun salute.
And that report is from C News. Dr. Keith Mitchell has been sworn in as Grenada's Prime Minister for a 5th time.
I, Keith Claudius Mitchell, do swear that I'll faithfully execute the office of the Prime Minister without fear or favor, affection or ill will, and that in the execution of the functions of that office, I will honor, uphold, and preserve the Constitution of Grenada.
A short swearing-in ceremony for the 71-year-old Mitchell took place before a packed audience at the Grenada Trade Center in the south of the island. The 5-time Prime Minister, who has been in active politics for more than 34 years, told those in attendance that he was humbled by their confidence in him and his team, which took a clean sweep of the 15 seats in the polls on Tuesday.
Return to you with my scars exposed. My feelings recorded. But I also return to you, my dear sisters and brothers, with my heart sincere and my determination stronger than ever.
Mitchell also reiterated his call for the main opposition National Democratic Congress, the NDC, to join the social partners in putting forward the best policies for the socio-economic development of the Tri-Island state. And he said his first task would be to write to the party to make his request official. Mitchell said the electoral war is over and it is now time to let peace reign.
To the leadership of the NDC, we sincerely invite you to take this proposal seriously. One of the first acts as Prime Minister that I will take will be to dispatch a letter putting this invitation to the leadership of the National Democratic Congress in writing in the interest of nation building.
Mitchell said it was regrettable that the constitutional reform referendum in 2016 was not successful since, among other things, it would have allowed for the appointment of a leader of the opposition in Parliament at all times. Meanwhile, at a media brief on Monday, NDC leader Nazim Burke supported the call for national unity, but he stopped short of saying whether he would accept Prime Minister Mitchell's offer to have his party represented in the Social Pact. He said he had not yet received correspondence from the Prime Minister and would reserve further comment until after the receipt of such.
We support unity. We have spoken about unity throughout our campaign. We believe that Grenada needs to be a united country in order to move forward. And so we support the idea of national unity. We believe that it is necessary for Grenada. The issue really is whether or not you're talking empty words or whether we mean to do something about it. That's a fundamental question. I don't think anybody in Grenada is opposed to national unity, including the Prime Minister.
This is the second consecutive loss for the NDC, and some political analysts have suggested that for the party to regain momentum, Burke must hand over the reins of power. Burke says the party is engaged in debriefing sessions to chart the way forward, at the end of which he will accept the will of the party and its supporters.
Doing the assessments of the moment and consulting with the relevant organs of the party, doing the assessment of the elections and charting a way forward. Whatever is the will of the party, I will submit to the will of the party. And I believe that all the members of the party will submit to the will of the party. So, and to the will of the people. So, I've not made any decisions at this point. We want to do the assessments first. And then, as we said it in the close of the statement I offered, we pledge that we will keep you abreast of all progress in this regard.
And still to come in Caribbean Newsline, Guyana's president makes a water appeal. We'll explain after the break.
How can Caribbean nations respond to global economic trends? It is the subject of our Caribbean Economic Forum with Central Bank of Barbados Distinguished Fellow, Dr. Andrew K. Rose, B.T. Rocco Professor of Economic Analysis and Policy of the Haas School of Business, University of California, Berkeley. Join us on March 27th at 8:30 p.m. at the Courtney Blackman Grand Salle, or follow this important event on television, radio, and online. Let's talk about terms of trade, capital flows, exchange rate pressures, protectionism, and more in this 5th edition of the Caribbean Economic Forum. For more information, visit www.centralbank.org.bb.
Follow your heart to the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival from June 27th to July 1st, 2018. Featuring Kester Band, Sifa Laloji, Small Axe Band, Nyla Blackman, and Betty Wack. Also, Patti LaBelle, Dijon, New Vibes International, Rhythm of the Beat, and Wayne Wonder. Spice, August Alsina, Aishona, Byron Messiah, Dasha, Shaka Dimas, and Pliers, and Miss Lauren Hill. Save the date and book now for the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
The 8th World Water Forum has opened in Brazil, with one Caribbean leader calling for the protection and preservation of Guyana's shield. Guyana's President David Granger, who was the only regional leader to address the opening of the forum on Monday, also called for dialogue to foster better management of water resources. We get more in this special report from Nazima Ragubir on assignment in Brazil.
When the 8th World Water Forum opened in Brasilia on Monday morning, Guyana's President David Granger called on governments and the World Water Forum to take action to preserve the Guyana Shield. The Guyana Shield is an area spread of 2.7 million kilometers that encompasses parts of Brazil, Colombia, French Guyana, Suriname, and Guyana. The Guyanese head of state, the only Caribbean leader who addressed the opening of the forum, defined the Guyana Shield as a vital source of the world's freshwater reserves. President Granger's call comes as this international conference will be discussing water scarcity in the climate change context over the next few days.
We recommend to this forum a 3-point action plan. A plan to enhance First, our commitment to pay continuous attention and unceasing action, not only to occasional conferences. Second, to collaboration among states, especially neighbors, which share the waters of rivers. And third, to the conservation of water resources and the protection of the environment everywhere in order to maintain the integrity of Earth's rivers and lakes.
President of the World Water Forum, Benedito Braga, told the opening that challenges caused by water scarcity present the unique opportunity to have dialogue.
Managing shared waters efficiently is one of the milestones in achieving water security. Water is the common thread connecting all aspects of human development and is essential in achieving socio-economic stability.
Braga said that water security hinges on strong economic policies and finances.
Governments need to place water security at the heart of their national development strategy across all sectors and involving all stakeholders. Experience shows us that we cannot achieve sustainable water resources development without engaging actors across sectors, from the energy sector, food production, or sanitation services.
Over the next few days, the Caribbean, through the Caribbean Water and Wastewater Association, as well as the Inter-American Development Bank and the Caribbean Development Bank, will present aspects of its Caribbean Strategic Plan for Water, which aims at tightening coordination in the water sector in the region, as well as addressing critical issues such as water scarcity. An injection of some $650 billion is needed between now and 2030 to ensure the necessary infrastructure is in place for water security across the world. Reporting from Brasilia in Brazil, Nazima Ragaber, CMC News.
And we thank Nazima for that special report from Brazil. Barbados' Prime Minister Frondell Stewart has likened his ruling Democratic Labour Party, the DLP, to a sleeping giant that is dangerous when awoken, and he continued to keep the electorate guessing as to the date for the next general election in Barbados, which is constitutionally due by June. Addressing the opening of a DLP office in the St. Peter constituency on Sunday night, he said the sleeping giant would clear everything in its path as it heads to the next general election. He is confident of a third consecutive term in office for his party.
Once the Democratic Labour Party was not in the field, as Chris Sinkler said and as others have said, everybody was saying, oh, it's only a matter of the date, it is over. I said again in 2013, the Democratic Labour Party is a sleeping giant, dangerous when awakened. And that sleeping giant has now been awakened and will clear everything away from its path as we go through to the next election day.
Stewart again referred to his decision not to name the date for the poll when the Parliament was dissolved earlier this month, adding that he does not know why the hurry to get an election date.
The date is going to come. The election is going to be fought and it is going to be won. And I hope that when those who are calling for it end up gnashing their teeth, that they would not hold me responsible for it. And those, of course, who don't have teeth can gnash gums.
In the last general election, the DLP won 16 of the 30 seats, with the remainder going to the Barbados Labour Party. And ahead in Newsline Sport, West Indies defeat Zimbabwe as the Super Sixes of the ICC World Cup qualifiers continue. Stay with us. Sport is next.
Follow your heart to the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival from June 27 to July 1st, 2018. Featuring Kester Band, Simba Lungi, Small Axe Band, Nyla Blackman, and Betty Wack. Also, Patti LaBelle, Dijon, New Vibes International, Rhythm of the Beat, and Wayne Wonder. Fight, August Alsina, Aishona, Byron Messiah, Dasha, Shaka Dimas, and Pliers, and Miss Lauren Hill. Save the date and book now for the 22nd Annual St. Kitts Music Festival, an experience like no other.
Hello and welcome to Caribbean Vibrations, TV's #1 Caribbean show. I'm your host and guide, Alan, and today we're coming to you from aboard the Celebrity Summit as we get ready to embark on a Southern Caribbean cruise and show you some amazing properties that you can buy. The fourth stop on our Caribbean real estate tour is the island of Barbados, where we got to visit Port Ferdinand Marina and luxury residences in St. Peter.
So is there anyone in the industry that has, you know, spoken to you, motivated you in any kind of way?
It's a couple of people, a couple of labels.
I know you did open up for Lil Wayne, right?
Yeah. I got a chance to speak with him backstage in Fort Myers. You know, that's one of my idols right there. You know what I'm saying? And a couple of labels that we went, you know, knocked on their door and talked and got advice and talked to A&R reps and.
An audacious half-century from veteran batsman Marlon Samuels helped West Indies to a victory over Zimbabwe and a much-needed lifeline in the Super Sixes of the ICC World Cup qualifiers on Monday. The Windies were chasing Zimbabwe's total of 289 after choosing to bat first at the Harare Sports Club. Brendan Taylor was the man who propped up the African side total after smashing his 10th ODI ton, while opening batsman Solomon Meyer chipped in with 45. Windies captain Jason Holder found his form with the ball as he picked up a 4-wicket haul, while fast bowler Kimar Roach finished with figures of 3 for 55. Here are the highlights.
Taken. It's a good catch that by Kimo Paul. Shot. Wow. That's out of there. So powerful from Solomon Mire. Outside edge. Top nut. Wicket number 2. Nut. Reverse sweep again. He's so good at that, Brendan Taylor. Got him.
There he goes again, making it a low full toss and capitalizing. Ramp shot. And 4.
Got him. Oh, wow. I don't know how he does that. There you go. Century number 10 in one-day internationals. That's hit. That's hit well. Very well. It's gone for 6. Oh! Off the pads and onto the stumps. Jason Holder gets the break that the West Indies want. Oh, yes. That too can go into the collection.
Well, this could be a chance. It's gone high. Oh, and good catch.
Simple catch, another one goes down. This will go all the way. Big swing. That's what they want. Keep it coming. Got him. Again, Jason Holder. He's held on to that one. And so is the fielder. Last ball of the innings. He'll push for 1. Mutarabani, the non-striker, the last man, coming back for the second. High return, and he's run out. So Zimbabwe finish at 289 all out of their 50 overs.
In reply, man of the match Samuels scored a well-played 89 that helped the Windies get over the target in the final over. Shea Hope added 76 from 97 balls, while opening batsman Evan Lewis chipped in with 64. Blessing Musa-Rabani and captain Graham Kramer picked up 2 wickets each. Here's a look at the Windies' reply to Zimbabwe's 289.
Shot. That's beautifully struck. And again, 6 again. Shots of catch it. Taken. That'll go all the way.
Oh, that's a glorious looking shot into the gap as well. Here's the gap. And we'll get another boundary. Boundary number 6 for Lewis. Gets to his half century as well.
More runs. 100 comes up for the Windies.
Got him. This place is going to erupt. Short, cut away.
Played it well.
Is it straight down the throat? No, it is not. It's over the top.
Here he goes again. Another 6. Clearing long off.
Trying to take control. It's well played by Marlon Samuels at 29th one-day international 50. 6. Gone again. Didn't get all of that, but he'll get 4. And again, it's bigger, much bigger.
Got him.
Catch it, please.
Brilliant from Rafa. Hetmeyer goes for 6. Big shot.
Yeah!
Taking it.
He's stomped. Shot. Bang! Out of there.
Windies win. And they keep their destiny in their own hands, going into their last match against Scotland in this Super 6 phase.
And that's the sport. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Barbados, renowned for its pristine beachfront and fantastic weather, continues to leave quite an impression on newcomers to the island and returning visitors. The Caribbean island, quite popular as a vacation hotspot, is not only beautiful due to its natural aesthetics. The island of Barbados continues to grow in popularity because of unique connections developed with our people, our culture. We can't wait to welcome you.
Again, the major developments of this day: a state of public emergency in a second parish in Jamaica, this time sections of St. Catherine to fight worrying crime. And in sport, West Indies get a much-needed lifeline after beating Zimbabwe in the Super Sixes of the ICC World Cup qualifiers. That's Caribbean Newsline. For news and sport around the clock, log on to KanaNews.com. We'll be back here again tomorrow. But from all of us at CMC News, thank you for watching. Do have yourselves a good night.